Hey everyone, it's Jessica Michaels here with another layout for the Shimmerz Paints design team. I am super duper excited to share this one with you today, you guys, because this is one that I've been wanting to work on for quite some time now, but I just never had a chance yet. Finally, I'm getting the chance to work on it and I can't wait to show you. So I have pre-gessoed here my background paper, which is just white to start because I just wanted to spritz a whole bunch of colors together to make a background that I can actually cut apart. So I'm using a ridiculous amount of greens here on this layout. So I'm using some Vibes in Palm Reader, Elfin Magic, Velveteen green, and Hot Fudge is this brown one coming in now. And if you guys have not grabbed that brown one, that Hot Fudge, it is ridiculously amazing. It is so shimmery and gorgeous for a brown. I cannot say enough good things, and I'm like not typically a person that uses brown a whole lot on my layouts. I know it's hard to believe because I do like a lot of grunge on my pages, but this brown is just so rich and gorgeous. Oh, it's definitely a must-have. And then I've used some other ones like a Spritz in Olive Branch, a Coloringz in Keep Palm, and just like all the shades of green just to make this come to life. You can see I've used my heat tool a little bit to speed this up because I'm super impatient, especially when it comes to having a great idea in my head and needing to get it out onto paper. So I did use my heat gun a little bit to warm that up and dry up those layers. Normally, if I was using that as my actual mixed media background, I probably would have added some more color and additional layers to it. But since I was cutting it up like this, you can see I've cut it into squares and I'm using it on a sheet of black textured cardstock just to kind of create my own mixed media background. But this is just something that I had in my brain. I had this photo of my nephew for quite some time. This is from 2024, and I just wasn't sure what to do with it. I know that it's a Minecraft artwork on his face. This was during the school carnival at our school, and they usually have face painters there. So he had gotten Minecraft because he was really into that at that point. I think he still is actually. And yeah, so he had his face painted like that, and I just wasn't sure what direction to go with this, which is really when mixed media plays a huge part. When you don't necessarily have an idea, add some mixed media to your projects because then you don't need a ton of embellishing. So it kind of draws your eye in towards all of these gorgeous mixed media little squares. You can see how cool they turned out with all the color variations in there. This is exactly what my brain had in mind for this layout, was to just take a bunch of squares and add mixed media to them and then just rough them up, do some machine stitching on them, and add them to a black background so they really pop, because I didn't have a lot of embellishments that are Minecraft because they don't really make anything that's geared towards Minecraft. So what I ended up doing was I Googled Minecraft and went to the images section of Google, and I just took a bunch of free images off of there, printed them, and then just fussy cut them out. That's all I did, you guys. Super easy and simple. I didn't use a particular collection for this because I didn't really have anything else that went with Minecraft. So I'm just building my own layout here, and you can see I've done some machine stitching on my squares just to grunge them up a bit. I'm pulling a bunch of these colors again to add some splatters just by removing the nozzle and just flicking some color onto my background. And then I'm also going to grab some white acrylic paint. It is just plain cheap white acrylic paint from Walmart. It's just nothing fancy or special. I just water it down a little bit with some regular water and my paintbrush, and then I flick it on with the paintbrush. Then it just creates that nice splattered effect, breaks all of the color up, and kind of ties in the background to the actual squares as well. So it just creates a really cool effect. I'm grabbing some pop dots here, or 3D foam squares. I'm going to lay my photo flat on there, but I'm going to pop up most of these other embellishments. Again, I do have to be kind of careful with these embellishments because I printed them on regular printer paper, so it's really thin, and I really wasn't actually even planning to use them. I was just printing them to see what they look like and how they printed, see if they printed okay, because I was using a different printer than I normally would, and it's kind of like my office printer that has a scanner on it, so it's not my typical printer that I use to print my photos, so I'm like, oh, this probably isn't going to look real great, but they turned out fine and I ended up using them. But if I were to do this again, I would suggest printing on a matte photo paper instead of just regular plain printer paper. It's a little bit thicker and it'll also give you a little bit better of an image whenever you print those images. But for this, I mean, this turned out great, I think. And for this layout in particular, Minecraft is so pixelated when you actually play that game, or if you've seen it, it is so pixelated. It drives me nuts that these kids actually love this game because it looks like something from, like, I don't know, when computers first came out. Like, when was that? I don't even know when they first came out, but someone here knows that, I'm sure. But it looks like, you know, the old DOS programs when computer programs first started coming out and we had the huge box monitors and everything. That's what it reminds me of. So it just like drives me crazy that these kids love this game. But that's why I wasn't too worried about how my images printed, because that's how the game looks anyways. I've got these foam squares I'm just using to pop up all of the embellishments. I've also grabbed a couple collections by Simple Stories. I think the one was Family Game Night that those little adhesive brads are from. And I've also grabbed a couple elements from, I think it's like Bro and Company or something like that. But I just have like some bits and pieces left over from those collections. So I am just grabbing a couple of those to add here. I know I said I wasn't going to use a particular collection today, but I did end up grabbing a few elements just from those two collections. Nothing crazy. I'm not using any papers, nothing huge from either one of those collections, just kind of little bits and bobs that I find to add in here. And then I also ended up finding these adhesive brads from that game night collection. So I'm just adding a couple of those on here, along with some acrylic stars that I found in my stash. I think one's from Bella Boulevard, the other one's from Coloringz. Cast. I had some Bramble Fox ones here too, but I ended up not throwing them on this layout. And then I've got my little pig here I'm using as an embellishment from the ones that I printed, just kind of staggering them about my little square clusters and keeping everything in those little clusters so that they're all kind of together and grouped. That's something that I love to do, and I am just loving this. I just absolutely love whenever an image or a project comes to my brain and it totally works out on paper. That's just always so amazing to me when I see something and I have this idea of what I want to do and it actually works out on paper and goes the way that I planned and everything works out and goes so smoothly. That's always like my 100% goal, but it usually doesn't work like that. Usually I have an idea in my brain and it goes like a completely different direction, and I usually end up still liking it, but it just usually ends up detouring somehow along the way. But this one stuck pretty true to the image that I had in my brain for this. So I'm super excited. I could not wait to share this one with you guys. I'm so happy with how this one turned out. And baby girl here is excited too. She's here with me today to show you this finished layout. Look at this, you guys. I absolutely love this. I hope you guys enjoyed this process today and how this came together. And I hope I've inspired you to create something with mixed media and play with all these beautiful Shimmerz paints. So I hope you all have a great day. Leave some comments for me and I will get back to each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.